Keith Scott reporting live right here at New Way Bible Fellowship Church, right here in the Alamo City, on District 2 Councilman Ward's MLK interview that he did with me. And I'm right here with Pastor Jones, and I want to get Pastor Jones's views and remarks that he did, of course, on Channel 4, but I want to get him here on Black Video News. Pastor, how are you doing?
We're fine. So
I'm doing well, Pastor. Let's go right into it. Let's talk about the changes that District Councilman 2 brought out with Black Video News. I want to get your comments on it and your views about change with the MLK March.
We were exposed to the video the interview you done with him.
Yes, sir.
And his proposed plans to move the march into downtown. Really, when you look at it, there was no need to separate the march from the beginning because everyone was already inclusive in the march. To me, it seemed an attempt on the councilman's part to cause disunity, whereas the march had already been unified. There was no need to even think about anything like that. I spoke with the councilman on Tuesday night directly, and he was still adamant about doing it.
Okay.
Toward the end of the conversation he and I had along with our commissioner, Calvert,
Okay.
he began to soften his stance a little bit and said, okay, well, the commissioner told him it really needs to stay on the east side. Don't lose your people.
Right.
And he began to soften his stance then.
Okay.
But really in his mind, the plan was to move it.
Well, it started some dialogue and some controversy when we talk about changing the march that's been in existence since 1972. So District Councilman 2 stepped out. I couldn't get a hold of him. He had another appointment, something he had to take care of. But also, I want my viewers to know, what is the community's efforts in not allowing this to take place when we talk about changing the march?
We're going to band together. We're going to make sure there's no change to move the march from the east side. I personally, along with others, don't see a problem with the march beginning at another point on the east side and ending in the Wheatley Heights Sports Complex, Martin Luther King Park area. That's fine. I see no problem with that. I would welcome that change. I believe there are many others that you can tell from the crowd, they really wouldn't have in mind problem with that change, as long as it stays where it started.
Okay. Thank you, Pastor Jones. I wanted to talk to you about this event tonight. Keith Scott reporting live right here at New Way Fellowship Church, right here in the Alamo City with Pastor Jones. Stay logged on for more. Thanks for logging right back here at BVN Network for tonight's community meeting in reference to the MLK March. I'm right here with Mario Salas, editor and writer for several different magazines. Also, Mr. Charles Williams with Barbara Williams College, the founder. Sir, I want to go right into it. Mr. Salas, tell us, Mario, about this announcement, breaking news with trying to change this march and how you feel about it.
Well, we had a firestorm here tonight. Big crowd of people very upset about this, and understandably so, because this march has some historical input. We've kept this march on the east side. People from all over the city come to this side of town, which is really important for that to continue. So for Councilman Warwick to entertain the idea of moving it was a total mistake. Now the good news was he kind of backed off of it, but the problem was he shouldn't have got up and left. When you're a council person and it's like being a general. You got to survey the crowd. You got to understand, you know what, I don't need to leave. He could have grabbed this bull by the horns, got on his phone and called whoever he needed to call and say, I'm sorry, I can't be there. This is more important. And everybody would stand up and applauded that. Yes. But when he left like that, that's the worst mistake you can make. So I'm not pleased with him doing that.
Okay.
I am okay with him. He did say he's going to change it, but I think we need to monitor the situation and show up at that meeting on October the 12th, which I think was the date that they set. Okay. So to move it, in my opinion, is totally wrong. I agree with Mr. Williams and the other people that were there. It's wrong. It's just not the good thing to do.
Okay, Mr. Williams, you were on the panel tonight for tonight's discussion. I want to hear your view and how you feel about change with this march, sir.
Well, this community belongs to the people over here, and the march is part of our heritage. And that's what I meant today when I said, you know, I remember the Alamo City Chamber of Commerce, which is the Black Chamber of Commerce. Somebody got this grand idea, let's move the location downtown, and guess what? We lost it.
Okay.
And the same thing will happen with this march. This is our heritage. We started this over here, and if we start moving it, guess what? This is the one day of the year that this community comes together in brotherhood and sisterhood. It's the one day of the year that small business vendors commence at Pittman Sullivan Park, now Shaw's Channel Baseball Diamond, to make a little money. And if we move and go to Hemisphere Plaza, they can't afford the boost, and we're going to lose that. So he's not thinking. And let me tell you something. It's high time this community stop electing people that's learning on the job. We need to have people that understand the needs, that's in touch with people, and if you don't know, call somebody and ask. We can't have people that don't know and then bullish in the process and not willing to listen. I mean, we just cannot have that. I mean, it's totally insensitive to the needs of the people. Yes, we're elected, and he has already broken 3 of the promises. He said, you can hold me accountable. Obviously not. He walked out on us. He said, I will have town hall meetings and you will, I'll seek your suggestion. Obviously not. He didn't want to listen to our suggestion tonight. And then, of course, thirdly, he does what he want to do without consulting anybody in the community, and that's just wrong.
Okay. Well,
Absolutely.
sparks are flying. You can hear the people's opinion. Mr. Williams, Mario Salas, right here with tonight's discussion with our community right here in the Alamo City over this Martin Luther King March. This is a special report. Keith Scott, Black Video News. Thanks for logging right back here at Black Video News for tonight's Martin Luther King community meeting. I'm right here with Keith Toney. Keith Toney ran against Alan Warwick, Councilman Warwick, in the District 2 election. It was a close race. Keith Toney was right in the race with him, but Alan pulled it out. Keith, I need your opinion, Mr. Toney, about tonight's community meeting and what's your views on this Martin Luther King March change, sir?
Well, a couple of things. First of all, let me tell you this. When I was a city councilman in District 2, my constituents came first, second only to my family and my God. And to leave a meeting of constituents is unacceptable. There's no excuse for it. And this proposal is nothing less than bizarre. It's bizarre to even think about it. And the councilman admitted as much, to say that we considered it. Why would you even consider it? It was ill-conceived from the beginning.
Right.
And it shows the immaturity that I spoke about and I suspected during the election. And I hope that he has seen the light, he's heard the constituents, and he will do the right thing and take this silly proposal off the table forever and ever, never to be brought up again. This march is District 2, it stays in District 2.
Okay, so I've got to ask this question. If you would have won this race, would you have had any idea of doing this as District 2 councilman if you were the councilman in District 2, Mr. Toney?
When I was city councilman, I can tell you that you get a lot of preposterous ideas and propositions come across your desk.
Okay.
You have to have the maturity and the wherewithal to say no. And to this one, I wouldn't just say no. I'd say no, not under any circumstances. Please don't ever bring that up to me again. And again, let me say that every council person has a staff. To leave this meeting is unacceptable. There's no excuse for it. You call a staff member and say, I had planned to be at another event. I need to be here. That's what a real council person does.
Okay, sparks are still flying. Keith Toney taking the time out. He ran against Alan Warwick in the District 2 election. Thank you for taking the time out, sir, to talk to me. I'll be right back with more of this community meeting in reference to this Martin Luther King change right here on Black Video News. Thanks for logging right back on at Black Video News for tonight's community meeting in reference to the change with the Martin Luther King March. I'm right here with Pastor Price. Pastor Price, let's go right into it. Your views on this change with Councilman Warwick announcement. How do you feel about it? I need your views on it.
Well, I'm glad tonight the community came out. The community came out in a great number. Actually put pressure on our council person to help him change his mind.
Okay.
So I'm glad that happened tonight. It had been a mistake to move, to change the route with the march. You know, I think that march means so much to the East Side community. You know, it has grown over the years. It's already a diverse march. I mean, people come from all over town. People come from out of town to march. I can think back when I was chairing in 06 and 07, you know, we were touting over 100,000 people would come and march. And so it's already diverse. There's no need to have us coming from different directions downtown to meet any place. It's happening already, and I think that march speaks volumes about this community remembering the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King. And I think that's where the focus should be, is inspiring our younger generation to remember we had such a hero that lived. You know.
Okay. Well, we know Martin Luther King fought against segregation. We know his views and points. You know, I mean, you can't take anything away from the work that Martin Luther King did. Pastor Price, it looks like the community's not going for it.
No, because the march is already diverse. There's no need to put a march together that have different groups coming from different directions. You know, there's no need for that. The march is a diverse march. San Antonio is only 7 or 8% African American, so it's not even 100,000 of us here in town. So the march is over 100,000 sometimes, marching strong. So people come, you know, white, black, you know, we're all there. Yellow, brown, we are there marching in memory of Dr. King, you know, and still believing that we can realize that dream.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Pastor Price. You've heard the community's voice tonight right here at New Way Fellowship Church right here in the Alamo City. Pastor Price, I want to thank you. Keith Scott, Black Video News. We're wrapping up. Thanks for logging right back on here for tonight's community meeting in reference to the Martin Luther King March. I'm right here with the chairman of the commission, Brandon Logan. What's your views on tonight's meeting, sir?
Well, I thought it was a very spirited meeting. Got a chance to share my vision with the march, which was establishing it right here on the east side, adding more high quality program that would add more value to the legacy and the teachings of Dr. King. So really excited about establishing the message to them and also letting them know about the meetings moving forward so that they feel a sense of inclusion and engagement, because that's what it's about. It's about inclusion, it's about diversifying, it's about representing what the city of San Antonio is all about. Being from here, I'm very excited about the opportunity to lead. It is a huge undertaking. It's something that's very admired and respected in this community, and I look to uphold the traditions of that and also advance it to the next level.
Okay, you expressed some of your views in reference to tonight's meeting, but I also want to touch on where are you standing with this announcement that Councilman Ward came out and said on Black Video News. How do you feel about that approach that he took with saying that there may be some change in the march?
Yeah, like I stated earlier, the march will not move under my leadership. It will remain on Martin Luther King Drive, and we'll get all the way to Pittman Solomon for the commemorative program.
Well, thank you so much. You've heard it first. This is the chairman for the commission, Brandon Logan. Thank you for logging back on to Black Video News. Keith Scott, Black Video News.
Thanks.